Oh boy, I'm live again. Wow. No one's gonna be here, of course. Someone's watching this in the future. Hello. Nice to see you. Oh, alright, let's see here. There you go. Oh, what am I doing today? Well, I'm gonna play a game called the Hayseed Knight. It came out very recently. It was made by my pal, Max. Very excited. I've been meaning to play this game for a very long time, but I haven't because I wanted to wait for the full version, which is out now. Very excited. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm doing an impromptu stream right now because tomorrow I likely won't be able to stream for as long. Not that anyone's here to hear this right now, but if you're watching this in the future, there you go. Now you know. I'll wait a little bit, see if anyone comes in. Probably not. This is an impromptu stream, so I don't expect anyone to to really show up for this one. That's all right though. I will have a good time all on my own, and maybe somebody will pop in at some point. Who knows? We'll see. I'm still on the couch right now because I have not got my booth up and together. Oh! Hello, Travis. Hi. No, you're not late. I just started. I'm just talking to myself because I didn't think anyone was actually gonna be here. You have not missed anything. I just started right now. Hell yeah. Alright. Well, I was literally just about to get started and play. So you haven't missed a thing. Alright, let's see here. Boop. Alright. Ooh, is it capturing the screen correctly? Oh. Oh! That screen is too big. Hold on. Let's fix that. Fit to screen. Thank you. There we go. You're playing a thing you're in, so of course you'd be here in the first second. Of course. I should have known. Alright. So I haven't played anything of the Hayseed Knight myself. I have no knowledge other than of the character design, obviously, because I follow Maxie on Twitter and very much like those character designs, obviously. Let's see. I could mess around with this and make it fit on the screen better. Here, let's see. Ooh. Ooh. I feel like I could make this fit better on the screen. Maybe. Just a little bit. That black border is going to bother me if I don't... Oh, but I don't want to cut anything off. We'll just leave it as it was. It's fine, even if there's black border. Oh well. We'll deal with it. Alright. English. Oh boy. I'm excited. This has been several years of build-up for me, having watched Max draw these characters for so long and seeing them evolve, but never actually having experienced the game. I'm excited. Alright. Well, let's do it then. If the audio is bad in any way, shape, or form, or anything's off, do let me know. This version includes up to Chapter 3, updated designs all over the place, and several new scenes and rewrites in the first chapters. Anything displayed is subject to change in later versions. As always, keep up with the development on your Twitter account. Aww. Well, no need to worry. I haven't seen any of the unupdated stuff, so we're all good.
Holy horns! What's with this place? It's ancient. Are you sure we're allowed to be here?
Oh boy. You're allowed to be anywhere as long as no one finds you. Sneaking through forgotten cracks in a wall is not as easy as it once was, but I still managed to push my hat and my staff in somehow without wrecking the wall any further. Today's a mess, and the last thing I'd want is the whole city knowing that I'm back on my nonsense. Namely, helping fawns trespass into abandoned temples in pursuit of fixing the written lies that pass as history these days. I'm too old for this rubbish. I catch a glimpse of Lynn's expression as I push my scarf over my face again. My newest headache looks entirely unconvinced by my logic. Ah, yes, Lynn. Oh, she got her scarf on her head. That's great. Oh, God. Max's art is so good. We are blessed. Oh, you haven't actually seen Chapter 3 yet? Oh. Well, I don't know if I'll get all the way to Chapter 3. I'm not sure how long the game is, but I will definitely get through as much as possible. Let's see. Look, we're already here, and you're going to need all the help you can get, kid. I don't have time to explain every single little thing to you. If said kid still had any qualms left about following me here, she has the rare decency not to voice them. I mean, this whole ordeal is her fault, in a very roundabout sort of way. Still her fault nonetheless. It's anyone's but mine, at least. I didn't come all the way back to the city to do charity for his descendants. I just wanted to find that dumbass's grave and clean up a little, or leave some incense or something, not this. I wasn't looking to hear legends about any so-called Knight of the Upper Field. I know the books in this library won't say a word about him, but I had to come back to this place anyway. The unlikely possibility of finding a trace of his existence among the broken tables among the broken tablets and burnt I don't know that word, codices, was far too compelling to ignore. Here I am, still following in his footsteps, like the few unlucky scripts that time and thieves spared, frozen in their shelves as they await the return of someone who will understand them. We have a lot in common, this library and I. God damn it. You kind of know what happens since you've seen the script, but you haven't seen the completed package yet. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh my god, I love the... the animations, they add so much. This is great. The kid's eyes open a fraction wider, and I only managed to narrowly avoid the incoming onslaught of questions. Oh, were you not following me before, Travis? Well, thank you for following now. I appreciate it. Whoops. You've been caught. You've been caught in the act. Here, ink, paper. You can write, right?
Of course! You're talking to the fastest!
Shut it, ask it has.
Sheesh, you're really adding some flavor to my name, huh? Where did all that salt come from? Or could that be the sweetness of an old flame leaving such a bitter aftertaste?
Ew, no, don't do that. Makes you sound like your mother. I mean, her mother. Or her great-great-grandmother? God, I can't believe the story is derailed this much. How long have I been gone?
I can't even start to guess if you won't tell me how old you are.
I'm entirely too old to care about something as dumb as numbers.
Well, gee, I'm starting to see why you wanted me here. Do you have a name, or are you too cool for letters too?
My name would only doom this project. You will be me and I will be nothing more than the space between words.
What a droll way to say you want me getting lynched for this.
I can still keep the story to myself and tell you to get lost, kid.
But you won't, because after hearing my name, you realize I'm the chosen gazelle that legend of old prophesied would tell the true story of the night, right? I could use a little encouragement here, not gonna lie.
Listen, Lynn, I don't believe in chosen ones, and I certainly don't know what the truth is. I doubt Ader himself even ever knew. But I am going to tell you the story I know. I will tell it once, and I will probably tell it wrong, since I can barely remember it anymore. But even so, anything I say will be 1,000 times more accurate than any of the odes this witless bunch of fopdoodles have been singing through the ages. This may be Ader's punishment for lying his way into history, but I still can't let the name of a friend be smeared like that. So what I mean to say is that I will skewer you if you interrupt me and make me forget something.
Fair.
She finally shuts up for a moment, though I know the silence won't last. Right, good. I guess I should put my own thoughts in order before we begin. His story started back when he left his village to... No, that would be too long. His story starts when he became a knight, and... No, that defeats the point. I guess his story... Well, I guess his story starts with me. I could allow myself that much merit, right?
Who are you again?
I'm the one who tells the story. You write. Okay, alright. Here we go. Chapter 1. Chapter 1, The Fickle Queen, or what better way to start a story than when things are about to go south?
Ader.
Oh, I am excited. This is good. This is good. I like this.
Hey, lad. Do we have to go through this every single fuck?
Yeah!
Oh boy. Here we go.
A beast! I saw a beast!
Way to call me an eyesore.
I'm telling you, I saw a beast.
Right. Look, I'm not drunk enough for this, so good.
This ain't no time to sleep. The beast may be gone, but the Macadar is still out there.
Do I know all the VAs? Like, who plays who? I know at one point I knew some of them, but it's been a very long time, so I don't remember. Oh god, yeah, no, I don't remember. I know who used to play Ader, but I don't remember who plays him now. I don't remember. You can tell me? Okay, sure. I'd love to know. Stan Pie, wonderful guy. I don't know if I wonder if I know everyone. Jeff is played by, yeah, Dr. Bonehead. Okay, I did recognize that one. Right. Okay, yes, I recognize Mr. Dr. Bonehead. Continue. Alright. When we come to someone else, I will rely on you for voice actor identification. Okay, sounds good.
The forest's out there and it's come to find me.
Can you stop screaming like an idiot and use your brain for a second?
I knew they'd get to the city one day. We gotta tell everyone.
There are no damn trees around, you dimwit!
A long shush followed right after, or that's what we'll go with since the words their dear neighbors used were too colorful to be reproduced.
Oh, then what did you holler for, Mr. Bard? The sun ain't up yet. If you don't quit your whining, we're gonna get a beating.
Says you, the buck who hath been delighting mine ears with his pitiful wailing all night long.
Say what?
You've been talking in your sleep again.
Oh, choices! Hell yeah! Not my fault. The beast. Sorry. Ooh, what are we gonna go with? I'm gonna be. I'll be apologetic. Sorry.
Well, slap my head and call me silly. I'm so sorry, Mr. Bard. I forgot we were an heirloom for a moment there. But no more. I'm gonna make sure to keep my dreams dead silent from now on.
That's what you said last time. Can't a deer have a hangover in peace for once?
You know that I'd move away if I could. But
Don't sweat it, kid. Once you're faring better, you'll take us both out of our misery.
wait. Fair? Fair. Fair? Oh, 3.
Don't.
The fair!
I swear to Bytet, kid, if you keep screaming, I'm going to kill you.
Not if they get to me first!
And so Ader's heavy hooves stomped the ground with the force of a stampede as he sprinted away, making Joff regret every decision that led to him suffering this torment.
Glad we sorted that out.
Oh man. I really do like the sprite animations. They add just like I wish more visual novels did that because it adds that bit of life. Oh my gosh, someone's raiding me. Ah. X Games. Thank you. Thank you for the raid. That's so sweet of you. Oh, it's G off. Okay, soft G. Thank you for the raid. Oh my gosh. I appreciate it. Hello everybody who is here now. We are playing The Hayseed Knight, which is a visual novel that just released recently, and it's super heckin' awesome. You said you'd be back this week, so you did. Hello. Oh my goodness. G sound. Okay, it's like Geoff. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, so wide awake now and running as fast as his clumsy hooves would let him, Ader set off to the bazaar. A whole year had come and gone since he'd first set foot on the streets of Slander District, the most infamous slums of the capital. A place so heinous that walking there alone at night was considered a suicide attempt. A place where you were in your right to keep a house if you could outlast its previous owner. Let's see some visual novel. Chris the Otaku, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Yes, for anyone coming in, you've like just got here as I'm basically just starting, so all that happened was Hayden, but I'm locked out. Thank you for the follow. So all that happened up to this point was our in the far future, it starts out with a character who is the narrator and another character writing this story as the character is telling it. And so our main character has just woke up from a nightmare and realized he has to go do something, so he's run off. Okay. Where he'd once felt like a poor fawn fearing for his life, now he felt like a poor deer fearing for his life. But at least he actually knew his way around after such a long time avoiding brigands. He had no time to spare worrying about trivial matters such as being robbed or stabbed, for he knew fully well that he was to meet his destiny.
The patron's gonna skin me alive!
A destiny which most likely didn't really include being flayed by his dearest employer. Though we can't rule out the possibility of his direct superior whacking him in the head for oversleeping on such an important date.
What if she hates me now? Then patron won't have no problem kicking me out. He'll kick me out and keep my skin as a payment. Nah, that's dumb. But he'll kill me anyway. Oh, crap.
Oh, I love it. Oh, have I not changed my game? Oh, shoot. I don't know. Is Hayseed actually on Twitch under the games? I would hope it is. Let's see. I will check quickly. Games and demos. Okay, I'll probably have to put that because I don't think it's on Steam's list of games yet. Oh shoot, you're right. It still says I'm playing Our Life. Whoops. How do I change that? Let's go in here. Oh boy, I know how to change this. Hold on. Stream manager. Settings. Oh no. Let me see. There we go, I found it. Take me forever. You'll be right back. Okay, be safe. Games and demos. So nobody thinks that I am playing something I am not. There we go. Update information. Good. Because I'm not playing Our Life right now. If that's not obvious. Alright. So immersed was he in these fantastical thoughts, invading his head, that his brain, which was by all accounts mostly made up of sawdust, didn't pay any mind to the path his hooves were following. Oh, Ader, no. And so as is to be expected from someone not heeding the wise advice, look where you're going, he soon met the first obstacle in his way to the plaza. A wall.
Oh dear.
In any other place, that soft chuckle would have meant that Ader wouldn't have the benefit of living with his failures alone. In the slums, it could mean that he wouldn't have the benefit of living at all.
That was almost impressive.
Oh god.
I truly thought that you were going to run straight through that wall for a moment.
Yes! Sap! Best character! Actually, I don't know. I couldn't pick between Sep and Eina if you made me. I love all these characters. I haven't even ever played this game, but I know them from Max's art so much that I just love them all already, and I haven't even ever played this game. Sep is Melody Muse. Oh, okay. That's another one I do recognize. Hell yeah. The voice got closer by the second, followed by a strangely harmonic tinkling. A melody that danced in his ears and paralyzed his mind, rendering him frozen in the spot as he thought of an incoming murderous lady. Ader shut his one remaining eye and held his breath deeply, knowing that it would be his last. Not dead yet. Still not dead. How come he was still alive? That's just rude. Between his blurry sight and the obfuscating darkness, Ader could barely tell apart the silhouette standing right in front of him. He should have run, and screamed, and begged for his life, but instead, he hesitated long enough for a few stray sun rays to wander among the run-down houses, finally casting light upon his foe.
Whoa!
For your information, everyone already thinks that Rose are thick-skulled. We don't need another martyr for the cause.
Ader's absolute lack of reaction made her mocking smile falter. To be fair, he had, indeed, left a sizable hole in the wall he'd just crashed against, but that was hardly the cause for his sudden drop in mental speed.
Are you okay?
I didn't even notice that the name is just listed as Haughty. Oh, Ader. Ader. Ader nodded, though he hadn't really heard the question. Sensing this, the mysterious lass extended a soft hand towards him in an amiable gesture. Amiable. I don't know. I don't remember how you pronounce that. Take her hand or play it cool. Yeah, no, take her hand, you dummy. Oh, wait.
What are those?
Forgot about his shovel hands.
I know they're short. Please don't stare.
What kind of nonsense is that? I'd never seen hands like those before.
My hands? You like my hands?
Were you born with them? How much weight can you lift? Can you use tools at all? Or wear a shirt? What's wrong with your neck? Is that a hood or a scarf? I love the pattern, by the way. So...
Oh, this boy. This dude.
I'm sorry, ma'am. What was the question?
You. What are you supposed to be?
Oh! Well, I'm just your run-of-the-mill prairie buck, ma'am. Just, my mom gave me shovels for hands and a gourd for a neck. They're better for work in the fields.
Oh, come on. I want the actual story.
Oh.
You want the boring bits? Okay. See, I used to be all big and strong. But then I come to the city, and what do you know? Food ain't so easy to come by. I was so hungry that I'd even eat the rocks in the street.
He's supposed to be a good boy, and he's doing a good job at it. He is. Ader is a good lad. We love Ader. He eat the rocks in the street. Oh, Ader, no.
And I go to bed hungry one night, and another, and I keep on starving till I end up 2 meals short of turning into a walking pile of bones. Except for my hands. They just won't get. And they're for real heavy, let me tell you. So, that's the gist of it. You want to hear about my neck, too? Or my name, at least?
The girl's eyes narrowed as she stared at Ader. He fixed his gaze on his hands, considering the strange path the conversation had taken.
So what you are saying is that you used to be plump?
He did, it's true. Ader used to be a very big boy. That was... I think I found Max's, art when Ader was still a big boy in the concept, in the drawing. Before the design got reworked. Oh god, that was a long time ago, jeez. Multiple years. Well, thank you for coming, no worries at all. Have a good night, and thank you for coming.
Plump? Like a fruit? Well, I used to eat a bunch of fruit before I came down here last year, yeah.
Last year? Wait, how many eyes did you have then?
How many? 5, I think, but I lost the other 4. Just the one, ma'am.
I knew it. You've changed a lot, but it's you. You're that loudmouthed one-eyed chub.
Just say what?
Loudmouthed one-eyed chub. Oh, Jesus.
It's me. Don't tell me you've forgotten me.
Okay, let's see if I remember how to pronounce this. It was Gioff, right? Gioff had warned Ader multiple times about the dangers of the "it's me" scams, but he was pretty tempted to fall into this one.
Ma'am! I don't know what you're selling, but I ain't gonna buy it.
One-eyed chub.
Come on. Don't you remember that night on the bridge under Hirab's statue? With the guards laughing at you? You didn't hit your head that hard, did you?
I bet those guards had one haystack of a night laughing at some poor buck, and I'm pretty darn sure that wasn't me. I'd remember you. Trust me.
It was a pretty long time ago, but wait,
Ader.
I know.
She bit her lip just long enough to make Ader lose his need to understand the situation anymore.
Come closer.
Who, me? Almost asked the deer. Yet there was no one else hiding in the mists of dawn.
I said come closer.
All right then, here I come.
That's it? Come on, don't make me walk over there.
Oh my god, Sep, please.
Boop.
Ah, she booped him! She booped the snoot.
That's close enough.
She slipped right under Ader's arm, uninvited, but not unwelcomed.
Now, if you could get on your knees, You know what? Maybe you should see a doctor after all.
Joseph! There you are!
Ugh, give me a break.
In less than a blink, her smile was back on her face as she turned to face the voice in the distance. It was some other doe in similarly flashy clothing, hurriedly stomping her stomping her way towards Jasif, apparently.
You called?
We've been looking everywhere for you!
He's just peacing out. Okay, bye, Ader. Hi, welcome back. You missed, our boy, Ader, has now met this mysterious lady who seems to remember him, though he does not remember her, and things got very flustered and very cute, and he looked like he was about ready to explode for a whole minute there. And now someone's coming over to call her, and he's snuck off again.
And so you found me. Congratulations. Now, if you don't mind...
Miss Rochelle's had us searching for hours! She wants you back immediately!
Well, I'm kind of busy, so... Would you be so kind to go tell her to find someone else to bother while I catch up with my friend here?
The fair's about to start! Head back already or you'll get us all in trouble!
Ooh. The red-haired girl stood completely still. She held her breath for an instant.
I'm sorry. Was that an order?
Ooh, Sep, don't.
What? Miss Rochelle said...
Say, do you know what happened to the last wench who had the gall to order me around?
I can't with Sep, I just can't. I can't do it. Yasif's smile was still plastered on her face, but her eyes had narrowed down to a squint, sharpening her long eyelashes even further.
I don't...
Care to find out?
The doe looking for her stammered, color draining from her mien. After a few tense seconds, a pleased smile spread across Jasif's face.
Come now, honey. Don't make that face. I'm just joking here.
Uh-huh.
I've got too much going on as it is to begin picking fights with my sisters. Don't you think?
Right.
Then that's settled. Let's go.
Jasif whipped her braid as she turned around sharply, making the choir of bells that hung from her hips announce her leave. Ader had barely just a second to register what happened. He could swear something had moved in a corner, but he couldn't care less. The finest lass he'd laid eyes upon in his whole life was about to disappear, and she seemed to have forgotten all about him. Facing the prospect of never seeing her again, he tried at the very least to catch up to introduce himself formally.
Wait!
The little tail swish, oh my god.
Yes?
But as Ader was about to speak, he had the same feeling of missing something. And so, as his gaze drifted following her back once more, he noticed something else moving behind her derriere. Something long like a whip, ending on a red tuft of fur. Something that most definitely didn't look like a cervine tail. Confused, his eyes quickly traveled from the zone where her back lost its name to the top of her head. Praying, wishing, desperately hoping that he wouldn't find what he found sprouting from the top of her red head. Horns. Coiled black baron horns, longer than his own rack. Ader had to hold back a yelp. He'd been so distracted by the rest of her features that... No way! I wasn't looking at her! Ader yelled internally. Beads of sweat began falling from his temples as his face became even more flustered. There's no way I... But as if meaning to aggravate his inner turmoil, Jasif smiled one last time with a mischievous glint in her eyes.
Don't worry. I'll see you around. Handsome.
Ooh. Look at that blush. Look at that blush on that boy. Alright. No worries, dude. Don't stay up just because I'm streaming. Bed is important. Sleep is very important. Ader was so many things. He was goofy. He was loud. He had a smile that could light up a whole town. He was gigantic, and yet, if there was a thing he'd never call himself, it was, no doubt, handsome. After all, a buck's worth may as well be as large as his horns are, and his were, well, tiny, almost childlike. Ader, bruh, size doesn't matter, alright, buddy? It's okay, don't make the sad face. So that offhanded compliment, that mere insinuation that someone found him actually good looking made his heart flutter. And by flutter, I mean it may as well have burst out of his chest right then. So for just 1 second, he forgot that the lady in front of him was horned. For just a moment, he forgot all the things he'd heard about gazelles. His face turned red, his jaw came loose, but he had been able to articulate. Sorry, I can't even read today, oh my god. But had he been able to articulate, he'd have found he'd completely forgotten the ability to talk. Just like me right now. He still knew how to do one thing, though. Run. Screams of endless suffering. What a perfect subtitle. Wordless heartbreak. This time, his shame was stronger than the wall.
Wait, what? Stop right there. What was that last bit?
The bit about the wall or the gazette? Oh, I see. Ruminants haven't always been so successful at living together as they are now. Wars, gods, horn shape, all the excuses to be different used to make a lot more sense to mortals back then.
No, I know that, but there's no way the knight would have thought something so awful.
Ader was a young, insecure stag in a time where every row felt the need to deny having a single drop of Baran blood in their veins. Why would he think any different?
Why wouldn't he? That's the point, isn't it? That he was different from the rest. How could he believe any of that crap?
How should I know? I never had anything against gazelles.
Sounds like you weren't a whole lot bothered by those who did, though.
Oh, she got you there, narrator. You're right. I wasn't. I just thought that there always had to be someone to punch down on, and I spent all my energy making sure that would never be me. That was the world as I saw it, and I never hoped it could be any different. Never wanted it to change. Ader, though? I think he never meant to do that to anyone. I think he just hadn't realized that there was more to the world than the fears he had been raised with. He had to butt heads with more than one type of wall in his life. I could be wrong, of course. His understanding could have been another pretense, and he may have very well lied about wanting to fight with the rest of us until his very last breath. No. I'm sure he did grow to be a wise and kind man, Lynn. Much wiser and kinder than I ever was, at least. Neither of us would be here making excuses for that dumbass otherwise.
Well, I don't care about you, but he'd better rise up soon. I have high-quality standards for my ancestors.
I'm glad you do, kid. Now, where were we? The sun was already up in the sky by the time Ader managed to remember that he was supposed to go to the bazaar.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to arrive so late. Please don't kill me.
But lo and behold, there was no one around.
Ha! What do you know? First again. I'm gonna have to ask for a raise at this rate. Oh, hold up. Now ain't the time for that. Andy could get here at any...
Oh no.
Boss! Ha! Gotcha. You're gonna end up giving someone a heart attack if you don't quit sneaking up on people like that, you know.
Oh boy.
Right. Don't you think for a second I forgot I was supposed to prepare the stall. No, ma'am. But, you know, days are getting longer, and it's harder to sleep at night, and the streets are real crowded, and...
Oh, Eina's played by Maxie? Oh, I didn't know that. Huh. Cool. I think she's probably my favorite. But I say that, but then I think about it, I'm like, but I do love Sep, though. I love all of these characters, and I've never even played this game. I just like them all. I like them a lot. And his silent glare told him that she didn't believe a single word, but she didn't care enough to pry either.
Hey now! Quit giving me that look, Missy! You got here late too!
Oh, encyclopedia. Oh, cool! You can, like, see little things. Oh, that's awesome. If you want to learn all about the characters in the world they live in, make sure to come back up. That's neat. I want to go through and read all of these just because that would take a lot of time, but that's awesome that you can, like, get the deal on everyone. That's so cool. Species, birthplace, age, no one counted. Oh, awesome. She pointed at her hair. Drops of silvery green water were dancing on her tips, painting the ground beneath them.
How is it my fault that you were busy dyeing your hair?
Leaving him with that perfectly valid question unanswered, she walked back to pick up a big bag she'd left a few steps away. She lifted it up with a single hand and then headed towards the stall, closely followed by Ader. It was about time they began working. A sudden thought popped into Ader's mind as he helped her set up their carpet.
So, how come the patron ain't here? It just gonna be the two of us today?
Eina simply shrugged.
You won't tell your pa I got here late, right, boss?
She punched his arm with such strength that she almost made him fall sideways.
Ow! What did I... Oh, tail. Sorry, boss.
This little reminder that that was a sensitive issue effectively killed the conversation. Oh, I already forget how to pronounce the name of this place. I'm so bad at remembering pronunciations. Oh god. People from all over Heirloom began congregating in the bazaar, turning the walled plaza into a sea of spice, trinkets, and deer. The currents of that sea were still difficult to understand for Ader, who often found himself pushed to the ground in the busiest hours. Today would be especially lively. It was the beginning of the Dawn-Soon season, and so the festive Kane had to make sure to bid a proper farewell to the rain clouds, so they'd be back again by the end of it. Heirloom, you were super close. I can never remember pronunciations. I don't know why that is my weakest thing ever, is like, if as soon as I encounter a word I haven't like recognized for a long time, I will not remember how to pronounce it until you've told me like 50 times. Maybe earloom, I guess? Nah. You have to tell me like 50 times before I'll remember how to pronounce anything. A pleasant change from Ader's usual day-to-day, working in Eina's forge under the continuous risk of suffering a heat stroke or third-degree burns. Or that's what he thought at first.
Welcome, welcome! We got the best prices in town! Come on and see what goods we offer!
There was no reaction whatsoever to his incessant yelling. Other than Eina snickering at him for trying so hard, that is.
Sure must be fun watching me break my back so your dad won't yell at us.
With a long sigh, Eina sat up and cast a tired glance over the carpet. She reached out and grabbed a small shiny dagger. Knife! That is a dangerous image. After checking its sharpness against her glove, she began stabbing the air as possible customers approached the stall, attempting to showcase its intended use. Ader quickly put his hands over her shoulders, discreetly bringing her arms down.
You know what? Nah, take that back. There ain't no deer in the world that works harder than Eina of the Test. There just ain't. A hard worker like you deserves a good rest every once in a while, so just let me take care of this, boss.
He did his best attempt at a natural smile. Eina, who couldn't care less about any of this, simply shrugged and sat back, still wielding the knife. She let her hand fall on one of the stones that paved the bazaar and effortlessly tore it from the ground, deciding that it'd serve better as a sharpening tool.
You do you.
Aww. It was best to leave the issue alone. Ader had figured out quite some time ago that Eina was a creature of habit, and her habits included steadfastly refusing to put any effort into anything she didn't care about. But it never really bothered him at all. God, that's a mood. How am I supposed to put effort into things I care about, let alone things I don't care about? Effort? Never heard of her. There was something fascinating about watching her get completely absorbed by whatever task she had chosen to focus on, really. Ader never quite had that level of dedication to his craft, if he even had one. She could hammer tirelessly at a single hunk of metal for hours at a time if the piece required so, all while judging Ader's every move with the same intensity. She was just as capable of sitting in a corner and glaring away the hours while she sank deep into her own imagination. That's why he immediately knew something was off when she turned her face away from the dull knife of her own accord.
Huh? What's wrong, boss? Wait, is that... Oh, no. Don't tell me he's coming this way!
Oh, no. Eina wasn't going to be telling him either way, but coming this way, he was. He being Ader's worst one-sided nightmare. Oh god, another word. The ulmutation of heirlooms... Sook... Tailed the Treasurer, followed by his pale... Oh my god, I can't... No, I don't know any words written you. I can't English, okay? I can't English today. Ader didn't even have time to yelp before the merchant among merchants politely announced his presence with an ancient greeting.
Tsakirmat, Miss Tess. I'm aware of how hectic the stall must be today, so I won't keep you long. I simply realized what a rare occasion it is to see you out in a crowd, so I thought I would take a moment to come and pay my respects to you. I hope you'll find some solace seeing a familiar face among the hustle and bustle.
It's funny that despite your anxiety over pronunciation, you're actually kind of nailing most of the... I'm doing my best. I can usually guess okay when I'm looking at a word, but I'll usually be kind of off. But I'm trying as hard as I can. And his eyes turned sharply away from Tailed, closely accompanied by the tip of her knife. The stag's head followed the motion only to find the eerily immobile set of deer waiting by his side.
I understand the apprehension you feel towards my company, but I'm afraid these are the only escorts I can ever trust with my back anymore. It's a dangerous world out there for people like me. Speaking of which, where's your father? Has he considered my latest proposal? Or will I have to send any more of my people his way?
Yeah, exactly. Ader didn't miss the way Eina's fingers clenched around the dagger she was sharpening. Come up with an excuse or distract him. Yeah, let's distract him. That's a great idea.
Holy horse! Check out that buck's grapevine, boss! It's gotta be the biggest tree I've seen in my life from root to branchlets. Darn! That shrub's worth a fortune, I'm telling you. And trust me, I'm Chanchurian born and raised. I know a thing or two about giant trees.
Eina didn't bat an eye at the interruption, while Taylor didn't even seem to hear him. Their bizarre staring contest remained strictly a two-person business. Ader never was one to give up so easily, however. Oh no, look at that face. No, Ader, no.
Yep, sure'd be nice if we could have a plant like that dragging our stuff around. Oh, it's a real shame the patron don't plan to bother showing up today. We could have tried to convince him together. Whoever buys that tree is going to show the world he's a deer with class. Ain't that right, Aina?
Ader needn't do anything more remarkable than put a hand on Eina's shoulder to make Taylor shoot a look in his direction at last. It was but a brief glance, a glance best reserved for a slug crawling up your leg. A glance so scalding that it could make weeds wilt and crumble to dust within seconds. The kind of glance that would normally precede the untimely death of an elongated yellow stag. As Ader's luck would have it, however, recognition set in the merchant's gaze just at the right moment. An unsettling half-smile formed in his face instead.
Ah, yes. I remember you now. Geoff's little paramour. The oversized one-eyed fawn that wanted to be a knight. One Durandun for a full set of armor was what you requested, if I'm not mistaken.
Nope. Yep. Sir, I'd never dare say you're mistaken, but I doubly not dare say so when it comes to numbers. Imagine it. Poor farm boy could barely count trying to tell the Talon how money works. Darn, just thinking about it cracks me up.
Oh, I love Ader so much.
No, sir, I can't. I just can't believe for one moment the most famous loner in all the heirloom would be so kind to remember a dumb buck's dumb dreams, much less his ugly friggin' mug.
Of course. I never forget a face, no matter how weathered or insignificant. That'd be remiss of me.
Talon nodded to himself thoughtfully, giving Ader a chance to discreetly crawl behind Eina. Despite the yellow stag's desperate inner pleas, Talon's eyes soon shifted towards him again.
Forgive my curiosity. I just can't help but wonder. How can a country boy with ambitions as great as yours go on living, day after day, knowing he can't aspire to more than his deplorable life?
Ouch. Ouch, dude. Okay.
Geoff can barely stay sober enough to feed himself. Never mind someone twice his size. It must be exhausting, staying alive.
Oh, no, not at all. We manage. Sorta.
Talon's soft features grew closer to Ader, but he barely even noticed. His only eye remained glued to Talon's bodyguards.
It's not too late to consider the offer I made you back then. Let me put those deformed hands of yours to better
Deformed
use.
hands.
I could give you the armor and the money to pay for it now, if you come work for me in the sewers.
In the sewers.
It won't be much worse than whatever the blind witch has you doing.
That's mighty kind of you, Mr. Talon, but it's poor manners to consider job offers in front of your own boss.
You make a fair point. Perhaps once I've torn that red scab off our guild's back then. Eina?
Talon finished his farewell with a bow and thus left the moneylender at last, followed by the delayed rhythm of a calcareous march. I can't English today. Ader's body had somehow contorted into being nearly indistinguishable from Eina's at this point. He needed a few more seconds to thaw out of that position.
Divine beeswax, I'm crawling out of my skin here. Who the hell you laughing at now, huh? That weirdo ain't no joke, you hear me? Last time I talked to him, it only took me shoving my hoof in my mouth half a second to swish, get a blade on my neck. And all I could see out of this eye was the creepy face of one of those golem...
And his ears perked up, though her gaze remained firmly locked on the blade.
No, yeah, of course you'd find it funny, Mistress Miss Tess. Paying my respect sure is a fancy way of saying he got the hots for you.
Ader barely avoided getting his liver punctured by an extremely flustered Eina. Oh, no. The hours passed by slowly and painfully, for they were completely ignored by any passerby. Well, actually, avoided rather than ignored. It was no surprise. The merchant, Ader's patron, and his mute daughter were two of the most despised people in the city. In spite of the incredible variety of antiquities and smithery that the merchant had for sale, no one ever bought a single thing. And there were plenty of reasons for that. Even Ader had some serious doubts about working for an old barhand man whose fur was redder than blood and an albino smith that insisted on dyeing her hair green. The fact that they worked independently from Heirloom's Traders Guild probably had something to do with it too. In any case, it was well after noon, and they hadn't done anything but sit around the whole day. Ader pressed his lips together and began drumming his fingers against the floor. Big sigh. He looked askance at Eina, hoping his subtle call for attention had stirred her curiosity, but there was no answer. He'd have to be the one to actually break the silence, as usual.
So, hey, Eina. I bet you're still wondering just what in the world could make a hard-working buck like this one get here so late this morning.
Eina stopped hitting the rock with the blade. She barely moved her eyes towards Ader.
Well, buckle up, because there's a whole story there. This gotta stay between you and I. But, this morning,
I saw a beast, I ran through a wall, I saw a gazelle. I'm not gonna go with I saw a gazelle. That seems like I'm asking for, trouble there. I'm gonna go with I ran through a wall.
I ran through a wall! Good thing I have a thick skull, right?
Ader's attempt at starting some sort of one-way conversation fell short. Yet another awkward silence ensued. He feared in those long seconds of quietness that his words hadn't been heard, or worse yet, that they were, but he was to be ignored for eternity. No, that couldn't be. He'd surely worried her too much.
Of course she'd be concerned. What kind of idiot runs straight into a wall and then brags about it?
This kind of idiot. I shouldn't have told her that, he lamented, thinking of ways to excuse himself for such a dumb thing.
Ow! What's that for? What? You get mad when I worry about you, and you get mad when you worry about me? That ain't fair, ma'am. I'm gonna get real mad at you next time you punch a wall. Real mad. Please don't punch any more walls. Someone's gotta fix them holes for you.
The best way to define Eina's smile at that precise moment would be terrifyingly mean. While her bad temper was known and feared among the other merchants, it was unusual for her to be so acidic, especially towards Ader. Our dear boy, couldn't help but notice this change, and he wasn't going to keep it to himself, of course.
You're acting real ugly, boss.
The smile on her face vanished, replaced instead by a grimace. In response to this affirmation, Eina merely shifted her gaze back to the blade and resumed her task, pretending she hadn't heard him. But if Ader was known for one thing, it was his incessant need to stick his nose in everyone's business. What's wrong?
What's wrong, Eina?
A wrinkle formed over her nose as she focused on keeping calm, but Ader didn't get the message.
Come on, don't just keep everything to yourself. You know there ain't a single thing in the whole of Dakna you can't tell me.
No sooner he'd finished that sentence, Eina slammed the dagger she was sharpening against the ground, effectively sinking its tip into the ground.
Right. I know there ain't a single thing you can tell me either. This is one of them metaphors things Gaff loves.
Metaphors.
He says that a hushed mouth ain't got nothing on it.
Whoops. Well, I should save anyways. Save and resume. Eina got up all of a sudden, her face red in anger. Ader was preparing himself mentally for the beating that he'd expected would ensue. But instead, she just plopped down on the ground, sitting with her back against his. Our dear Buck was puzzled, to say the least, but Eina didn't even make a sound. She just sat behind him, completely still and hidden from the public eye. Of course, the possibility of getting whacked in the head was now more real than ever, so Ader didn't even attempt to guess why she'd ever do that.
What was the patron thinking?
Well, he probably didn't expect you two to play, hide and seek in the stall.
We know who this is. We know whose voice that is. Travis. Oh, your voice for him is so good. Oh, could not have cast anyone better. Your voice for Eligrab is so fucking good. Ader and Eina immediately jumped away from each other, doing their worst best attempt at looking half-professional. A thunderous laugh resonated over the ruckus of the bazaar.
Heligram?
It's respectable Illigrab Buntalos to you, boy. But please, don't hold back on my account. I'll just look the other way.
What?
And so appeared the man that was so red that it would seem he'd stolen all the color his daughter was lacking.
Patron!
Ah, so he gets the respectful treatment and I don't. I see how it is.
What's that salacious doll cop doing to my daughter now?
They're just strengthening their ties of friendship. Ah, or is this a budding love?
Cookie for me if I know who voices the merchant. I don't. Low-key, when he screamed what, I thought it was you. But... Am I correct? Am I wrong? Am I correct? The merchant shook his cane, hitting Eligrab's twiggy leg with a loud thunk. The tree man just wiggled his mustache in response.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Hold up. We weren't doing anything, patron.
That's the problem, you come aground! You lighter sack! You!
That's totally you, isn't it? It's gotta be. Like, it has your voice. Unless you have somebody who is just, like, a very close sound-alike to you, but that's gotta be you, Travis. I didn't know you were the... Cookie for me, okay, so it is. I didn't know you were the merchant, too. Nice. You did good. You did good. Because, like, man, the voices are still, like, really distinct between the two of them, so part of my brain was almost like, no, that's not Travis. But I'm like, no, that's Travis. It's a good voice. A coughing fit saved Ader from more old-timey insults, which he could barely comprehend. Once he'd recovered, the merchant put his bearded face next to Ader's, resting the tip of his cane on Ader's chest. He opened his toothless mouth slowly, his breath reeking more like bleach than liquor.
You haven't sold a single thing, have you?
Now, that's hardly their fault, Red.
I'm sure this Yaltson was just frolicking with my daughter as usual!
She's old enough to frolic as she pleases.
She hasn't even come of age yet!
Of course she hasn't. There's no way for her to pass that right.
Of course there is! She just needs to open her mouth and stop being an idiot!
The only idiot here is the one talking, patron. Eina's just mute.
I wish that rub off on you!
Jesus Christ.
And maybe you'd learn to keep your mouth shut when adults are talking!
Boy.
But I did pass the coming of age right, sir. I got them adult horns and...
Shut up! Don't you have anything to say about this, insolent child? Eina?
She walked away while you two were arguing.
Then why didn't you say so sooner, you overgrown sapling?
Oh my god.
She looked like she needed it.
This is all your fault! And yours!
Dude, you did so good on this. Oh my god. This is so good. I know, I'm like... For this, I'm not making as much commentary as I usually do on other visual novels, but it's because, like, I want to hear these amazing voices. Oh my god. If you listen carefully, you can hear my vocal cords lighting on fire with the merchant. Yes, I can hear that.
What did I do?
That stupid child's been acting up since you first arrived!
Don't blame the poor boy. She's always had an attitude, and you know it.
I don't care! You two'd better go bugger off somewhere else. Or I swear to Arab that I'll hit you so hard that you'll be cropping out your teeth for a week!
Oh my god. Both Ader and Eligrab winced at that.
Now hold up, what?
You weren't joking, the whole entire screen shakes when he moves.
Come on, Ader! Those two clearly want some alone time. And he'll have plenty of that when I leave him tied to the pyre next time I find a mob outside the shop.
Eligrab took Ader by the cape and lifted him off the ground as they walked away. It didn't take Eligrab long to notice Ader's unusual reticence to speak.
Please, don't let Red's words affect you. He's, worse today. There's a storm coming from the west, and it's making us old people nervous.
No, the patron can preach and holler all he want. That don't bother me much. I mean, I don't cry anymore, at least. What he said to Eina, though? Now that's going 2 paces past the league too far. So what if she can't swear the oath thing? The 3 won't get mad at her for being mute. And anyway, Eina don't gotta pass no right. It ain't like she's getting married any day soon, right?
There, there. Got it all out of your system, boy?
You know what? All this stuff I'm saying means radish stew if I don't say it to her face. I gotta find her, make sure she's alright.
Adder's such a good lad. This is why we love him. Elugrab didn't reply to that last affirmation. He placed Ader carefully on the ground and patted his cape to straighten it.
Well, in that case, I have to go back to keeping watch on the fair. So, this is where we say goodbye for today. Hey, I'll send someone to fetch you if I see her, okay?
Ader nodded resolutely, then waved goodbye to they waved goodbye to each other. Off he go. And then the buck just stood there, wondering where to start looking when the bazaar was half a league from gate to gate. Assuming she was still in the bazaar at all.
Finally! I thought that fluffy bastard was never leaving.
Oh, I've already forgot. Geoff walked into the scene with a huge smile as the giant disappeared in the distance.
Afternoon, Mr. Bard.
Oh, lad, what a face.
Well, see, it's a long...
Ah, not a word. Thy mien speaketh clearer than thy tongue doeth. You're hungry.
Nah, I ain't in the mood to...
Well, I am. And I can't play a song when my stomach's growling a gazelle. Let's get some fried leaves.
Sorry, Bard, I ain't got time for any of that. I gotta go look for Eina. She just ran away angry as all get out, and I know darn well if I don't go check up on her, no one's gonna...
And I thought my songs were monothematic.
Geoff picked the strings of his ode one by one, deep in thought, while Ader just paced around. Thanks, man. Thanks for tuning in. You have a good sleep now. I probably won't stream for too much longer. I don't think I'll get to wherever the next break is, and then I think I'm done for the night. It's been like an hour or so, yeah. But I don't want to leave mid scene, so I'll just finish this up, and then I think I'm good.
I know just the place to look.
Geoff expertly snuck through the crowds, moving with such ease that he seemed to be little more than a shadow. Ader did his best to keep up with him, though that was hardly an easy task pardon me. Though that was hardly an easy task when he was one head taller than most other deer. The place Geoff was looking for wasn't in the plaza itself, surrounded by stalls and all their merchandise, but rather on one of the many alleys that led to the bazaar. The crowd there was bustling with life as well, but not quite in the same manner. They were all rowdy deer, pushing and cheering. A Carnmay alley. Carnmay alleys were very different from the official sort. While killing was still very much frowned upon, there was no chivalry, no one set of rules. There was no way of knowing if the horns you were being gored with were hygienic. There were punches and kicks and all sorts of cheats. It was chaos. And for that, and several other reasons, Eina was a huge fan of unofficial Carnmay. Sadly, as much as Ader jumped and pushed and yelled, she wasn't anywhere to be found.
Alas, your fair maiden is in another alley.
Ader cast a long glance over the improvised battlegrounds, attempting to find her one last time.
That's too bad. Eina kicked some serious ass here.
Good thing she's not allowed to fight.
Yeah, ain't no way they're gonna let it go.
A golem, Ader.
Geoff cast a very serious look in his direction. This wasn't the first time they'd had this discussion, and it wouldn't be the last.
How many times do I gotta tell you? Eina is not a golem, Kay? She's a doe. It's just she's
Golem, what's that? Oh. Man, there's so much lore in this game that I haven't read up on.
albino.
If anyone does play this for yourself, there's like so much lore that you can read that's just, it's fascinating.
A bit of a weirdo.
Weirdo. Right. Tell me, Ader dearest, how many albino does can you name off the top of your head that can lift your heavy butt with just one hand?
Eina! Now let's go! We gotta find her!
Why do I even bother? Look at her. Gollum or not, she's just a little cabbage head hiding in the crowds of this enormous city. She's damn good at hiding. And do you know why people hide?
'Cause they don't want to be found.
No. Geoff extended his arms toward him in a dramatic manner, remarking how correct he was.
You're not gonna find her. So why don't you go and use your thick skull for something useful? Like bringing us money so we can have dinner for once.
Geoff pointed at the ring with his horns, and Ader knew better than to insist. With a heavy sigh, Ader nodded and began walking toward the ringmaster.
Ah, wait, there's just one more thing. Your bag of coins. You wouldn't want to lose what little we have to the hands of, say, some ill-intentioned crook, now would you?
Better the evil you know, right?
Geoff extended his hand a bit too keenly, waiting for Ader to find the purse he usually hid within his sash. But...
Whoa, Bard. You're really gonna bust a gut laughing.
Don't tell me you lost it.
Alrighty then.
Geoff's scrawny body trembled like a branch about to snap off.
Just go.
Oh boy.
All right. See that sweaty blockhead over there with the glistening fur and a charming smile? That's your foe.
Oh no.
I'll go
Ader,
place
oh,
my
no.
bet now. Are you feeling like a winner, ladder?
Charming. Oh, hold up. You mean the guy with them sharpened horns? Oh, darn, Bard. Your confidence in this poorly put together row is much appreciated, but as much as it hurts me, and it does, I think I'd rather go to bed hungry today.
What?
What if he hits me in the face? I don't want to go from Ader the one-eyed to Ader the no-eyed!
Oh, Ader.
Then do enlighten me, my boy, on how in the name of the Hatsa do you pretend to become a knight if you can't handle even a rack pointed at you?
Whoops, okay.
No wonder you can't even catch a hint, yellow piece of mangy venison. Sorry about that.
What are you mumbling there, Geoff?
I said I'm going to walk you through this.
Oh,
so,
no.
oh, help me three if you mess up.
Oh no.
Hey, let this dog win. And a girl, you sure eat your veggies. But those sticks on your forehead, I can't fool anyone.
Oh, boy.
If he's serious, this is gonna be easier than I thought.
Wait, there's a fight coming up? Holy horns, you have to tell me everything about it. What kind of fighting style did Ader use? Was it anther rattling? He was a rattler, right? Did he prefer grappling or thrusting? Or was he more of a brawler instead? Swish, swish, bam! Pushing them right in the... Wait, did they even have any hand reps his size?
Oh, Lynn. Oh my god, Lynn. Oh my god. Give me a moment. I think I have to sneeze. What were any of those words? I don't really know the rules of Card May. I thought you just had to hit people until they fainted. Oh gods, nothing I can come up with is gonna live up to our expectations. I can't deal with the pressure. You said you knew the knight like the palm of your hand, didn't you? The new bearer of a tale of this magnitude should be able to pen a memorable fight scene all on her own, if that's the case. Prove you're worthy of your name, Lynn.
Oh my god, you're right! Yes, this is my moment to shine! Leave it to me!
Yes, good. I shall go and leave you to it, so as to not, influence you.
Let's see, what would the knight
Through a
do?
wall.
Right! He needed a few tips first. So Geoff took Ader aside and held him under his arm. He said, Ader, mine lad, 'tis a dangerous fight that awaits us. But if not in the strength of thy body, I believeth in the strength of thine heart. What would thee saith is the greatest feat a fighter should at each moment striveth for? Well, diggity yee-haw, Bard! What a
Diggity
tootin', rootin', mighty fine question that is. Ader nodded thoughtfully to himself and then continued, I reckon that would be...
Honor.
honor. As
The
expected, expected of a
Only
knight,
option.
dearest friend. Thou shalt be a rattler then. Ah, honorable style amongst honorable styles. The way our ancestors squareth, where two deer shalt proveth the might of their horns, rather than that of their mind.
Oh no.
But hoy, bard! Yelped Ader. Mine horns are so teeny tiny. Gilf smirked. This is where your strength lieth, mine Ader. There
I love
is
Lynn
an
so
advantage
much.
to short horns, thou see. No one shalt be able to lock their horns around yours, to grapple thee to the ground. Your advice is ne'er unwise, Gilf. This is why I love you so daringly dearly. Ader, you beautiful boar. Everyone will find out if thou keepeth talking so loud. We mustn't. Let the whole world bask in the warmth of our passion. Oh, Ader. Smooch, smooch, smoochy, smoot.
Ahem. Lynn, how's that scene going?
It's going.
Ader found himself alone at last, his dearest friend lost to the blurry tides of people surrounding the ring. Veins were starting to pop in his eye, making it even harder to see anything except the stag waiting in front of him. The deer with sharp horns smirked in his drunken haze, clearly looking down on Ader. It wasn't the first time someone pitied him and lived to regret it, as the drunkard would soon learn. The ringmaster looked left and right, making sure that both fighters knew what they were about to get into. He lifted his hand carefully as he stepped back, and then, "Go!" he screamed with a hand chop. No problem, dude. Have a good sleep. Thank you for stopping by. There was no time to hesitate. Both the roe and his opponent rushed towards each other head first, heeding the scream of an ancient instinct that boiled in their bloods. Every voice in the alley fell silent once the deer slammed into each other, horns singing a threatening melody as they rattled fiercely in a never-ending battle for dominance. The tension could be cut with a knife as their foreheads pushed against each other, but Gyoff's advice proved unerring, indeed. As much as he tried, the bigger deer could not intertwine his antlers around Ader's short, straight ones. Yeah, of course! I love streaming visual novels. That's what I normally stream, and this one is absolutely lovely. I hope you come by again sometime. Again, thank you for coming. Now what? The answer was clear, of course. A barrage of swift punches to the other deer's face would have set his brain bouncing all over his skull. It would have been an obvious choice to anyone with deer-sized hands to do to any honorless ruffian. Refusing to even consider such lowly tactics, our hero decided to take the moral high ground. And the physical, too. Tired of this pointless dance, the deer pushed Ader back with a swift head movement. Before Ader had a chance to react, his foe slammed his head just below the roe's chest, knocking all the air out of him and lifting him right off the ground with ease. Ader flailed his one free arm and legs most valiantly, but there was little he could do in such a compromising position, worn out as he was after trying to uphold his honor as a brave warrior with such a direct approach. I absolutely will be streaming tomorrow, probably for about the same length of time. I know I have it on my my stream thing, so I will stream. I will definitely be streaming tomorrow. I hope to see you then. And crack! I could not tell if it was the sound of Ader's neck or Ader's teeth as his face hit the ground at full speed. But little did that matter, for nothing lay more broken than his dreams. You're dead to everyone. Think it over. After such a shameful defeat, the writer decided to take a page from Ader's book, literally. She began writing these words as a means to stall her own anxiety as she tried to understand how she managed to dig herself into such a narrative hole. She had certainly made a mistake somewhere. It was obvious to her prodigious mind that a boy so preoccupied with doing what was good and true and right would hardly be willing to do whatever it took to stand victorious and carve a space for himself in the annals of history. Our wonderful narrator started to realize that perhaps she had misunderstood something about Ader, for she could picture no scenario where a well-meaning and upstanding street fighter could ever get past his first night in the Slander District. Good night. Omalinda Billy, I think, of Askides, true descendant of the Knight, decided to revisit her decision, thinking more deeply about what kind of priorities her ancestor would have. Honor.
Honor, as expected of a knight, dearest friend. Thou shalt be a rattler then. But hoy, bard! You've
Oh,
smirked.
okay, it's just the same thing.
This
Okay.
is where you're...
So, okay, I'd have to wait, not charge. The towering deer charged toward Ader like a runaway fur, horns lined and ready to slam into him with the full force of a Makadar stampede. But the road didn't move a single muscle. Ader merely waited, silencing all the voices that screamed at him to run and die. He didn't even assume the step rider's stance. He just waited, closing his eyes lest the sight of his incoming enemy would betray his nerve. And when the time was right... Wait even more or grapple him? We'll grapple him. Ader opened his arms wide, mentally prepared and ready for the incoming attack. Or so he thought. The deer slammed his head into Ader's stomach, nearly sending him to the ground with a single well-placed blow. When all seemed lost, Ader managed to stand his ground, rapidly holding onto his foe's horns. Ader's foe smirked. By the time our hero realized he had fallen into a trap, his whole body was hovering several arms over the ground. The carrot strikes back. What a foul move! He would have turned Ader into a strainer if the yellow deer had had a single bite's worth of meat in his body. If that had been the case to begin with, he would have been able to struggle against his enemy's hold as he flew across the sky, or at least he would have been serene enough to come up with a different approach to the situation. But for now, face to the pavement it is. Dang it, we're dead again. Gotta think it over. Okay. He's gonna go for victory.
Ah, so thou art a brawler, dearest friend. I have indeed taughteth you well. There is no honor in death. If thine horns will not aid you in battle, use those hands the gods gave you. Pummel them to the ground. Thou shalt win this fight and prevail until the next.
Okay, we got it this
But
time.
hoy, bard! Yelped Ader. Mine hands are so bogglingly big! Yuff smirked. All the better to swat their faces away.
Oh
If
boy,
they
okay.
trieth to thrust towards thee with their large horns, thou shalt only need to slap them into the ground. Stand victorious over those who would hurt you, mine Ader.
And then they smooched again, but quietly. Lynn's just here to write fan fiction. I can appreciate that. Ader found himself alone at last. His dearest friend lost... Yes, okay, so this is the same. Oh no, is this just gonna end the same way? Okay, I think this is just gonna go the same way. Yeah, okay. I'm dead. Yeah. Okay. So we need to wait. Wait again. Thwack! Ader spun on the tip of his hooves and struck his opponent with such force that he swat him straight into the ground. And you may think, wow, that's kind of anticlimactic. But it was everything but for Ader. Everything but. Both the public and the ringmaster tilted their heads as they stared at the man lying on his snout, a bit unsure about the nature of the event they had just witnessed. But what they saw was nothing but the truth. Taking Gyoff's advice to heart, Ader obtained a beautiful, simple victory. Down! Screamed the ringmaster. Ader won the fight and lived to see another day. Thank God. Wait, so he wins?
Of course he wins. He's the knight, you doof.
Right, never mind then. Well done, Lynn.
I'm pretty great, yes.
Now, what's this torn page you're trying to hide behind your back?
Wait, don't!
So anyway...
Whoa! I can't believe it! Still alive and kicking! Come on, show me the money, Bard! I want to bite every single coin!
I completely forgot to place the bet.
Oh my god. Gyoff covered his face with his hands, making some sort of unintelligible noise that can only be described as the very sound of anguish.
Hey, Big Ed, I want to learn some tips too. I'll buy you dinner.
Hey now, sir! You really think you're gonna steal my manager away, so...
Gyoff shut Ader's snout with one hand.
My dear boy, you sure gave it all today, so why don't you go and enjoy what's left of the fair? I have a gig in the tavern later. Money, yes. Don't expect me tonight.
With that, Gyoff hurriedly shooed away a very confused Ader. Okay. With that, I think I am going to leave that here for the night. That was lovely so far. My gosh. Max, if you do see this later, my guy, this is lovely. You have done so well with this game. And if I don't stream it again, I will certainly be playing it on my own time. I can assure you that, because this is great. Oh, and everyone did so good with the voice acting, and the way you animated all the sprites was great. Like, just, it's such a good game. That's great. Well, with that, okay. Thank you to everybody who tuned in, who came and hang out. Thank you again to Legend DX for the raid. My gosh, appreciated that. I will be streaming again tomorrow at 11 p.m. Central Time. I'm gonna probably be playing some R Life and maybe Hive Swap. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah. Thank you anyone who stopped by and anyone who sees this in the future. All right. Bye.